The Air Force relies on a small but diverse fleet of tricked-out Boeing 707 airliners with specialized sensors and communications links to perform vital reconnaissance and command and control missions across the globe. However, developments in 2019 suggest the Air Force might retire its large aircraft ISR and airborne command and control fleet early. Some of Stakeholder has identified $30 billion in current Air Force spending he'd like to cut to free up money for 4 new modernization priorities. They predicted 8 legacy aircraft types that might be targeted for early retirement in the next 5 years, including the 707-based RC-135 reconnaissance planes, E-3 Sentry airborne early warning aircraft, and E-8 JSTAR battlefield surveillance and command jet. A companion article looks more broadly at the operational, financial, and political implications of retiring aircraft types and focuses on 5 other legacy aircraft that identified as potential candidates for retirement: the A-10 attack jet, the B-1A and B-2B bombers, the KC-10 tanker, and the U-2 spy plane. And this piece will look into the future of 707-based aircraft, which might eventually be replaced by a ground-based network and its desired $30 billion in savings. The Boeing 707 legacy. 61 years ago, the Boeing 707 entered service with Pan Am Airlines, forever transforming commercial air travel. But while the last of the 4-engine jetliners was retired from passenger service in Iran in the early 2010s, the U.S. Air Force still operates nearly 400 707-based KC-135 tankers and over 70 RC-135, E-3, and E-8 aircraft. There are the last 3 types potential targets of despite having seen extensive use in the last 40 years. In part, it's because of their size, age, and large crews results in hefty operating costs. And although highly useful when safe from attack, in a high-intensity conflict, these planes could prove vulnerable to long-range anti-aircraft missiles and stealth fighters and would likely be forced to operate hundreds of miles away from active combat zones. The Defense Department is investing in drone, space, and ground-based alternative systems to perform those same missions without the expense and risk of putting a lot of people into a big airplane to do the job. Eventually, the service plans to have those systems relay data and command and control links to a ground-based facility in Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. This system of systems, called the Advanced Battlefield Management System, is foremost intended to replace the E-8. However, ABMS could have its mission expanded to cover the roles of the RC-135 and E-3, for which there are no replacements in development. But there's one big catch. The ABMS only exists as a software engineering concept at the moment, and the Air Force hasn't even yet to propose what new forward-deployed platforms could replace the 707 derivatives. Let's take a closer look at the 3 aircraft types that might be targeted for early retirement, the savings retiring them could entail in a 5-year period, and the capability gaps that might result. Boeing E-3 Sentry. The E-3 Sentry is an airborne warning and control system, AWACS plane, hefting a rotating radar dome that provides 360-degree radar coverage in a 250-mile radius. The crew relay what they detect to friendly forces and coordinate friendly aircraft, dramatically increasing their effectiveness and situational awareness. Recently, a new E-3G model with modernized computers entered service. However, at this current time, the Air Force has no plane in development to replace the E-3 and would need a large airborne radar that could accompany its jet fighters to fulfill that role. E-8 Joint Stars. E-8 is a flying battle management center that uses a surface-scanning surveillance radar to track the position of ground forces and use numerous communication links to relay data and coordinate friendly troops and aircraft in response. Nevertheless, the role of this plane is very important. In theory, a combination of drone and satellite-based sensors and communication relays tied together by the ABMS will eventually take its place. Should the E-8 be retired early, such relays might need to be organized on an ad hoc basis. Boeing RC-135. Rivet Joint Signals intelligence aircraft are used to listen in on signals traffic, geolocate their points of origin, and profile their electromagnetic signatures. They can also promptly relay that data to friendly forces for operational effects. Cobra Ball jets use electro-optical sensors to gather technical data on launches of ballistic missiles, like those currently being tested by North Korea. Combat Scent planes analyze radar emissions produced by potential adversaries to profile their systems and develop countermeasures against them. Does it leave a gap of this retirement? The RC-135VW's mission could be replaced by RQ-4B Global Hawk drones using signals intelligence payloads. However, the more specialized capacities of Cobra Ball and Combat Scent may be difficult to replicate with the desired degree of fidelity. Air Force Chief of Staff General David Goldfein earlier outlined a 4-point plan on how he'd like to spend his $30 billion in savings pending congressional approval. The smallest allocation is $3 billion to improve logistics under attack, and the remaining $27 billion would be evenly divided between generating combat power, new space capabilities, and improving connectivity of sensors and command control across services and platforms. However, an earlier article by Breaking Defense hints money may go to increasing procurement of B-21 stealth bombers, fielding more long-range missiles, installing more fuel-efficient engines in B-52 bombers, and deploying a more decentralized and survivable satellite network with active defense capabilities.